Have you ever asked yourself this question, why did this happen to me? Disappointment is a natural part of life, and it's something that everyone experiences at one time or another. When disappointment strikes, it's common for people to ask, why did this happen to me? This question can come from a place of frustration, confusion, and even despair. I want to explore some reasons that why people may ask this question, and then provide some tips for coping with disappointment. One reason why people may ask, why did this happen to me? Is that they may feel that they have done everything right, and yet they still didn't get the outcome they were hoping for. This can be particularly frustrating if they have put in a lot of effort or sacrificed a lot to achieve their goals. In these situations, it's important to remember that sometimes things are out of our control, and even when we do everything right, we may not get the result we want. It's important to focus on what we can control and take pride in our efforts, even if they didn't lead to the outcome we hoped for. Another reason why people may ask, why did this happen to me? Is that they may feel that they have been treated unfairly. This could be because of discrimination, prejudice, or simply bad luck. In these situations, it's important to acknowledge the injustice, but also to remember that we can still choose how we react to it. We can choose to fight back against discrimination, seek justice through legal means, or work to change the system that led to our disappointment. We can also choose to focus on the things that we still have control over and work to build a better future for ourselves. Sometimes people may ask, why did this happen to me? Because they feel like they are the only ones experiencing disappointment. This can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness. It's important to remember that disappointment is a universal experience, and that everyone goes through it at some point in their lives. By reaching out to friends, family, or a support group, we can find comfort in the fact that we are not alone and that others have gone through similar experiences. When asking, why did this happen to me? It's important to be gentle with ourselves and to avoid self-blame. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we somehow deserved our disappointment or that we could have done something differently to prevent it. However, this kind of thinking can be harmful and can prevent us from moving forward. Instead, we need to focus on what we can learn from our disappointment and how we can use it to grow and become stronger. When things don't go as planned, it's natural to feel disappointed and ask, why did this happen to me? This question can be especially frustrating when we feel like we've done everything right and still don't get the results we were hoping for. However, dwelling on this question can lead to a sense of hopelessness and prevent us from moving forward. It's important to understand that life is unpredictable and not everything is within our control. Sometimes, things happen that are completely out of our hands, such as unexpected changes in the economy, health problems, or natural disasters. While it's natural to want to understand why these things happen, it's important to remember that some things are simply beyond our control. However, in many cases, there may be factors within our control that contribute to our disappointment. Perhaps we didn't put in enough effort, didn't plan effectively, or didn't have the necessary skills or resources. In these cases, it's important to reflect on what we could have done differently and use this as a learning experience for the future. One way to cope with disappointment is to reframe our thinking. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? We can ask, what can I do to make things better? This shift in thinking allows us to focus on solutions and take action, rather than dwelling on the past and feeling powerless. It's also important to practice self-compassion when we're feeling disappointed. We may be tempted to beat ourselves up or feel like we failed, but this only adds to our stress and negative emotions. Instead, we can practice self-compassion by being kind and understanding toward ourselves and reminding ourselves that setbacks are a normal part of life. Another helpful strategy is to seek support from others. Talking to friends, family members, or a therapist can provide a fresh perspective and help us gain clarity on our situation. It can also help us feel less alone and isolated in our struggles. In some cases, disappointment can be a sign that we need to reevaluate our goals and priorities. It's possible that the goal we were striving for wasn't aligned with our true passions and values. In these cases, it may be helpful to take some time to reflect on what really matters to us and what we want to achieve in life. In summary, disappointment is a natural part of life, and it's important to acknowledge and accept these feelings. However, dwelling on the question, "Why did this happen to me?" can prevent us from moving forward and finding solutions. Instead, we can reframe our thinking, practice self-compassion, seek support from others, and reevaluate our goals and priorities. With these strategies in mind, we can overcome disappointment and move toward a more fulfilling life.